Hello, it's Graham here from St Peter's Church in Cringleford with another 3-minute thought, a 3-minute look at last week's sermon which we had in the Sunday service. Now, our reading last week from Matthew 18 was all about forgiveness. And Jesus told a story when asked how many times he should forgive his brother. Jesus told a story which talked about God's forgiveness that went on and on and on. But with it, there was a challenge. See, Jesus, having said that you shouldn't forgive your brother 7 times, but 77 times, so that this wasn't really an even a number, but a concept of just keep on forgiving again and again and again. And he did that with a parable. Now, in this parable, there was a servant who owed money to the king. A lot of money. Now, maybe you're one of those who thinks that the country is in a bit of debt at the moment. We currently owe about one lot of our GDP, so it would take us an entire year as a country to pay off our debt. This servant, well, it would have taken him 200,000 years to pay off the debt that he had. It was a phenomenal, unthinkable amount. It's basically like someone owes, I don't know, zillions. And so the king pulls him in, and the servant pleads, he begs. He says, look, master, give me time and I'll pay the debt. Now, both the king and the servant know that that's not going to happen. And then in a remarkable moment, the king, it says, has compassion on the servant and forgives the debt. Don't worry about it. Your debt is written off. Now, you might expect the servant here to be happy and joyous. But in this parable, the servant goes straight back outside, meets a servant who owes him a few £100s and doesn't forgive him, throws him in prison, and says he will stay there until every last penny is paid. Now, the other servants are outraged and get the king to intervene. But it becomes obvious through the telling of this parable that those of us who have been forgiven much are called to forgive. That those of us who in God have had an amazing debt forgiven. Now, I know that because of what I've got wrong, I could never by myself get right. That I could never by myself get into a relationship with God or know anything about his love and his justice, his grace and his mercy, indeed about his forgiveness. But I do know that in Jesus Christ, God has paid that debt, has forgiven my sin. And that is amazing, wonderful, puts me in a really good place. Yet at the same time, I also know that I am called, therefore, to forgive others. To not hold on to the same debts that I have been released from, but to forgive them as God has forgiven me. To live my life as Jesus Christ would want me to live it. Now, I hope you have a really good week. If you ever want to know more about the forgiveness and grace of God, drop us a line here at St Peter's. We'd absolutely love to talk to you about it. Take care of yourself.